Welcome to MaxLife Man, your essential YouTube channel, expertly led by our top expert, Dr. Sterling Thorne. Dr. Thorne and his top team from the prestigious Evergreen Peaks Institute bring years of dedicated research and hands-on experience in men's health. We deliver insightful, heartfelt podcasts designed to optimize your health and unlock your best self. Let me tell you what shocks me most as a doctor. It's not how many older men have questions about their sexual health. It's how many are afraid to ask. You'd be amazed how many times I've had a man in his 60s, even 70s, sharp mind, strong handshake, lean in and quietly ask, "Doctor, is masturbating at my age still okay?" Then the pause, the shame, the fear of what it might be doing to his heart, his prostate, his testosterone, and to his sense of masculinity. Let's cut through the noise today, because behind that single question lies a mountain of silent suffering. You want to know if it's messing with your libido, if it's making your erections weaker, if it's draining your energy, or if just maybe it's the reason your drive has taken a nosedive. Here's the truth. After 60, everything changes, but not everything has to decline. In this episode, we're going to break down what no one's dared to explain to you with honesty, science, and heart. Not just about masturbation, but about the real links between BPH, testosterone, libido, and how to protect your prostate without sacrificing your manhood. And if you've ever wondered whether it's still possible to feel like a man in every sense of the word after 60, I promise you this episode was made for you. But first, let me ask something simple. If you believe it's time we stop whispering about men's health and start telling the truth, click that like button. And drop A1 in the comments if you've ever had this question in your mind, even just once. Because you're not alone and you're not broken. Let's talk man to man. Let's talk truth. Let's begin. Pelvic nerve dysfunction. Let's get into the first silent enemy. And it's not one you'll see on a blood test. Not something your family doctor will ask about, but it's one of the most common, most overlooked causes of impaired ejaculation in men over 60. Pelvic nerve dysfunction. Now, that might sound like a technical term you can skip over, but if you're a man who used to feel that intense, full-body release and now feels nothing, this may be the missing link. Your pelvic floor is a network of muscles and nerves that control everything from urination to erection to ejaculation. And like any other part of the body, it ages. But here's the catch. It doesn't just get weaker. The real problem is when the nerves responsible for ejaculation, specifically the pudendal nerve and the pelvic splanchnic nerves, start to misfire, miscommunicate, or underperform. Think of it like an old electrical system. The power is still there. The desire is still there. But the signal doesn't make it to the light bulb, and the room stays dark. In a healthy man, the moment of climax is a complex symphony, nerve signals firing from the spinal cord to the pelvic muscles, commanding contractions that push out seminal fluid with force and satisfaction. But when those nerves are damaged, due to aging, nerve compression, diabetes, long-standing prostatitis, or even sedentary lifestyle, the communication breaks down. The result, you may get fully aroused, but nothing comes out. You may feel the build-up, but the release is weak, dry, or completely absent. You may not feel that pulsing sensation that once made you feel so alive. And here's what's even more surprising. According to a review published by Harvard Health Publishing, 2021, men over 60 with mild to moderate pudendal neuropathy are up to 7 times more likely to experience ejaculatory dysfunction, even when testosterone levels are normal. That's right. You can have the hormones, you can have the desire. But if the nerves are asleep, the fireworks never light, and no one tells you this. Because sexual health in older men is still wrapped in shame, silence, and outdated assumptions. Too often we blame low testosterone for everything. But in truth, testosterone is only the fuel. The nerves are the ignition. And if the ignition's dead, no spark, no climax. The good news, this isn't the end of the road. In the next section, we'll uncover the second hidden enemy, and this one's even more sneaky because it disguises itself as normal aging. But it's far from normal. Let's keep going. You deserve to know. Prostate congestion and BPH. A few days ago, I got an email from a long-time listener named Joseph, 61 years old, retired Air Force mechanic. His message was short but hit like a hammer. Doc, I still feel desire. I still get firm, but I can't finish. It's like everything's stuck inside. Like I'm being blocked from the inside out. My testosterone's fine, so what's happening? Joseph, you're not alone. And what you're describing, that blocked from the inside feeling, it's real, it's physical, and it's called prostate congestion. Let's break this down. As men age, especially after 50, the prostate gland tends to enlarge. This condition is called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. It's not cancer, but it might as well be a prison warden for your sexual function. See, the prostate isn't just a passive bystander. It's directly involved in ejaculation. It secretes the fluid that mixes with sperm to form semen, and it surrounds the urethra like a donut wrapped around a straw. When the prostate swells, that straw gets squeezed. When it becomes inflamed or congested, due to sitting too long, poor circulation, or incomplete ejaculation, it builds pressure inside the gland. And that pressure can block or weaken the natural process of ejaculation. This is exactly what happened to Joseph. He wasn't lacking testosterone. He was battling pressure from the inside, a swollen, inflamed prostate that couldn't release. According to a 2020 report from the Cleveland Clinic, up to 60% of men over 60 with ejaculatory dysfunction show signs of chronic prostate inflammation, often mistaken as just aging. And here's what's worse. This kind of congestion doesn't always cause pain. It doesn't always show up on blood work, but it slowly chokes off your ability to finish, to feel, to release. You go through the motions, aroused, connected, but the end never comes. Now I can already hear some of you muttering, well, dang, doc, that sounds like me. And if you've been nodding quietly this whole time without hitting subscribe, well, maybe your prostate isn't the only thing that's stuck. Sorry, I had to. Go ahead and hit that button. It's free. And it helps this message reach more men who think they are suffering alone. Because you're not. And because the fix is coming. In the next section, we're going to talk about how to tell if these enemies are already working against you, and more importantly, what signs you must never ignore. Let's keep going. How do you know it's happening to you? So now you know the two silent enemies, pelvic nerve dysfunction and prostate congestion. But here's the big question. How do you know if they've already set up camp inside your body? It's not always obvious. This isn't like breaking a bone or losing your hair. These enemies creep in slowly, silently. They rob you of your edge, one silent failure, one disappointing moment at a time. Here are the signs I tell my patients to watch for. You get aroused, but feel nothing during release. You feel the build-up, but then nothing happens or it's dry. You climax, but it's weak, quick, or completely unsatisfying. You feel pressure or discomfort around your perineum, the area between your scrotum and anus. You feel like you're carrying something heavy, but inside. Sound familiar? Then let me ask you something man to man. Have you ever had a moment where you just sat there afterward, alone, wondering, what the hell happened to me? Because if you have, let me say this clearly, you are not alone, you are not broken, you are not less of a man. You're dealing with real, physical issues, and the sooner you see them for what they are, the sooner we can do something about it. So here's my ask. Right now, while you're still listening, drop a comment with one word that describes how it feels when you're in that moment. Just one word, could be empty. Could be frustrated, could be numb. I promise someone else will read it and feel less alone, and if you're not ready to comment, that's okay too. Just promise me this, don't ignore the signs, because ignoring them won't make them go away. It just lets them dig in deeper. In the next part, we're going to talk about something even harder than the physical symptoms, the emotional weight this carries, and how it can silently crush a man's identity if left unspoken. Let's go deeper. Emotional toll, what it does to a man. Let me say something that not enough doctors say out loud. Sex is not just physical. It's not just about organs and hormones and nerves. It's about identity. And when that part of you starts to slip, you don't just lose pleasure. You start to lose yourself. I remember a man named Harold, 70 years old, veteran, retired rancher, 6'2", hands like stone. He sat across from me one morning, silent. Then he said, "I haven't been able to finish in almost 6 months. My wife thinks I've lost interest. I pretend I'm tired, but the truth is I feel like a machine that used to work. Now I just stand there and blink." That hit me hard because Harold isn't weak. He isn't broken. He's just going through something most men go through but never talk about. When you lose that final moment, when the release fades or disappears, something in your confidence shifts. You second-guess yourself. You start pulling back in the bedroom. You stop initiating. You even start thinking, maybe I'm past my prime. Maybe I should stop expecting more. And worse, you stop talking about it altogether, because what would you even say? That moment of silence after a failed climax, that awkward look on your partner's face, that voice in your head whispering, "You're not who you used to be." It builds until intimacy becomes a performance, then a routine, then avoidance. Now listen closely, because I need to tell you this. You are still a man, and you are not alone, not in this experience, not in that shame, not in that silence. A study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, 2018, found that over 35% of men aged 60-75 reported some form of ejaculation or weakened climax. Yet less than 10% ever told their doctor. Why? Because they thought it was normal. Because they were too proud, or too embarrassed, or too used to suffering quietly. But you don't have to, not anymore, not here, not with me. Because in the next section, I'll show you how to start fighting back. Naturally, gently, but powerfully. No shame, no pills, no empty promises. Just action based on real physiology, real science, and real results. Let's move forward. How to start reversing it naturally if you've made it this far. You're probably asking the one question that matters most. Okay, doc, what can I actually do? Good, that means you haven't given up, and that's where change begins. Let's start with the basics. No pills, no gimmicks, just your body and a few small but powerful shifts. 1. Strengthen the pelvic floor. You've heard of Kegel exercises, right? Most men think they are just for women. Wrong. A study published by the National Institutes of Health, NI, 2020, showed that 12 weeks of targeted pelvic floor exercises led to significant improvement in ejaculation force and satisfaction in men over 60, especially those with weak or dry climax. The technique is simple. While urinating, try stopping the flow midstream. That muscle group, that's your pubicoccygis muscle, the key to controlling ejaculation. Practice short contractions, 2-3 seconds, 10-15 times a day. Progress to longer holds and more reps over time. It's subtle, but it rewires the connection between your brain, nerves, and pelvic floor. 2. Address prostate congestion if you sit for long periods, especially at a desk, in a truck, or in front of a TV. Your prostate doesn't drain well. Try this simple habit. Twice a day, lie flat on your back and elevate your legs. Bend your knees and gently stretch your hips. This improves venous and lymphatic return, natural drainage. It's a humble pose, but over time it relieves internal pressure on the prostate and bladder neck. Also consider adding circulatory foods, pomegranate juice, beets, garlic, all shown in studies from Cleveland Clinic and Harvard Health to improve blood flow and reduce inflammation. 3. Rethink ejaculation frequency. Here's a truth bomb most men don't hear. Ejaculating daily isn't always helpful, especially if your nerves are fatigued or your prostate is congested. Many of my patients benefit from a rhythmic approach, 3 to 4 times per week, with intention, relaxation, and full stimulation rather than automatic, mechanical habits done in stress or boredom. Why? Because the body isn't just a machine, it's a feedback loop. And when you force release on an inflamed system, it doesn't heal, it locks up even more. 4. Hydration and micronutrients. Yes, water matters, but also magnesium, zinc, and B-complex vitamins. They support nerve conductivity and muscle recovery. If you're lacking these, your nervous system can't fire correctly. You don't need a shelf full of supplements. Just solid basics, nutrient-dense foods, mineral-rich water, and time. I'm not promising miracles, but I am promising this. Your body remembers. With the right support, the right patterns, and a little patience, what once felt lost can be rebuilt gently and steadily. And if you're wondering,